Welcome to Kankakee Podcast, where we talk about the people and the places of Kankakee County. I'm Drew Razor, and today we are joined by Hollie Erickson.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So today we are here to talk about the king. We're here to talk about Bedford, the man, the myth, and the legend. So for those of you for those who don't know who Bedford is or who your family is, can you give me a little bit of insight of when I say Bedford? Tell me about it a little bit.
So Bedford is our youngest son. He's 2.5. And shortly after his 15-month appointment, we were basically pushed toward more testing to figure out something's off with him. And it turns out he has a very rare genetic disorder, one that no one probably has ever heard of. And this past year has kind of been our journey with Bedford and navigating that and what it means to be a parent of a rare baby. So.
What condition does he have?
So his, it's called Schwartz-Jampel syndrome, which basically, without going into all the logistics of it, his muscles are constantly contracting. So our muscles know how to tighten and they know how to release. His do not. So the doctors have equated it to he probably feels like he has a constant Charlie horse throughout his body. Which a lot of people ask, is he in pain? It is likely that he is in pain, but as well, he doesn't know any different. So there does seem to be some indicators of irritability. Certain movements do hurt him if we try to bend him in a certain way. So with the muscles contracting, it limits his ability for his bones to grow properly as well. So he cannot hinge at the hip hardly at all. Which makes potty training difficult, which makes playtime difficult. He can't sit at a 90-degree angle. That's probably the most notable thing that people see, which obviously that impacts how he walks. He waddles because his hip flexors don't allow his feet to face the right direction. With that, his eyebrows look like they're always raised because his muscles are always tight. That's kind of been his signature Bedford look. Which if you know him, then you know it. But often when we're out and about, people will look at him and say, "Oh, buddy, are you surprised?" Or, "Oh, are you upset?" Or, "Oh, did you eat something sour?" Which it's funny to me, obviously. We joked that maybe he'll be a lawyer someday because no one will ever know what he's thinking based on his facial expressions. But he has a six-pack. His traps look like he has spent his entire 2.5 years in the gym. But he doesn't know any different. So it's easy to say that this is difficult, but we really don't know what his future looks like just yet, just because we're still navigating it right now.
Yeah, and from my experience, obviously as he gets older, he will learn about his condition more and more. But it does not seem like he knows he has his condition. He wants to play with Legos. He wants to run around and watch YouTube on the phone. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure that day will come, but he will walk quickly because he can't run, and he'll say, "Run, run." I'm sure that day is coming where he cognitively understands that he's not, but right now he's just out here living life. So
with Bedford, you guys have also had the unique chance to post about his life and post about his story, and with it being such a unique condition, one that isn't known, I feel like you guys are kind of put in a unique place on how to not only help him grow and help him succeed in life, but also to raise awareness for this kind of thing. So can you tell me a little bit about your guys' social media presence?
Yeah. So the first month when we got his diagnosis, it felt that everywhere that I went, people were asking about his story from start to finish. And I felt that I was crying multiple times a day. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to make an Instagram page specific for him, and I can update people. A lot of church people asking, how can we pray for him? That way I wouldn't have to give the full Bedford spiel every single time I went out in public. And it sort of morphed into this. People really enjoyed watching his progress with things, his update with things. I love to write, so I use the captions as an opportunity to encourage anyone that's watching the videos or reading what I write. I don't know if people actually read my captions or not, but just an opportunity to encourage people to do hard things, just posting physical therapy things and him around the house and just the joy that he is too, which then obviously I would share on Facebook as well. And one day last spring, I thought, I wonder if I would reach a larger audience if I put this on TikTok for the sole purpose of using hashtags with Schwartz-Jampel syndrome or rare diseases and see if I stumble upon other moms or other parents, because that was a big push that a lot of people were telling me to do, is connect with other parents like Bedford. However, with it being so rare, there's no one around that has this condition. So it was a lot of, okay, I can at least try. So one of the first few posts that I made got a lot of attention, went viral, not for the best reasons. I posted about playgrounds being more inclusive, and the internet both loved and hated it. A lot of very hurtful comments, but a lot of really positive comments too. And I am not one to have super thick skin with what people say, but this has taught me that there's always going to be a critic. Obviously, one of the most unique ones, though, was that people were kind of ripping his name, like he's not going to get bullied for his syndrome, but for his name, which I don't regret at all. Obviously, I didn't consult the entire world to name my child. But his name comes from It's a Wonderful Life. It's my favorite movie. And just thinking of what unique name could I pull from that movie. And I have a sign in my house that says Bedford Falls on it. But I was like, Bedford's kind of cool. It sounds prestigious. It sounds unique. I don't know anyone with that name. And when I pitched it to my husband, he at first was like, no, that's weird. But the closer we got to giving birth, I think it grew on him. And obviously, if you've seen It's a Wonderful Life, the whole movie is about a guy figuring out that his life does matter, largely surrounded by community, that no matter what comes your way, every life holds value. So that's been so cool to see that come full circle. Like, we did not know that naming him Bedford, he would like live out the message of that movie. And he's only 2.5, and he doesn't even know what that movie is, nor would he want to watch a black and white film. But it's been really cool. So that video went viral, got some attention. And I just kept posting things, and a few other videos went viral. The general audience really likes videos that show people overcoming things, which it's been a very interesting perspective for me, because as humans who consume content, we love the positive stuff. Like, we love the inspirational stuff. We love that kind of content in movies and in books. But then the general public is also so negative. So it's like we gravitate toward this cool thing, but then we're not willing to do the hard work to mimic it. So that's been an interesting perspective for me. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to keep trying to post encouraging content for people. And I've gotten messages on all platforms of people going through it, saying that they saw the video, they read what I wrote, and they were suicidal, or they were struggling with something, or they were questioning their faith. And just watching my 2.5-year-old, they felt inspired. And the amount of messages that have made me weep, the amount of conversations and the cool connections that I've had with people. Obviously there's trepidation with stuff like this, but it has been so hopeful in a season that was very heavy for us. So
absolutely. Have you guys had the chance to meet anybody else with the same syndrome as Bedford? Yeah.
So previous to me starting all the social media, we actually were made aware of a young boy not too far from us, about a 2.5-hour drive. He was actually on a TLC episode, which is why it was easier to find him. But we connected through social media, and we actually got to visit him. I'm going to name drop. It's Gio the podcaster. You should look him up. You should follow him.
I listen to his podcast. I love it.
Such an amazing young man. He's 17, almost 18. But he has been such a lifeline for us. We have been in appointments and have texted him and his mom as the doctors are recommending medications and different things, and just asking them like, hey, what was your luck with this? Did this help Gio at all? Because it is so rare. And I do think that's a total God thing that he was within driving distance, and a drive that wasn't super terrible to take with a 2.5-year-old. We've met a few others on social media. There's a young boy in Florida And there's a few others that we haven't overly connected with, but obviously in my perfect world, I would love to host like a Schwartz Jampel hangout and get everyone together and get some of these genetics teams in here just so we can talk and see if there are remedies that we can, I don't know. I don't know enough about the medical world, but just if I can be the conduit that brings people together, then I'm going to do it. Yeah. So.
Well, and obviously neither of us are in the medical world. Do you think part of the reason for there not being, the cure is not the word, but not a remedy to help this, is it because maybe it is so rare? People don't have it as much?
I don't know. Our doctors have been great. I wouldn't say that we've made tremendous progress. Like some of the appointments feel like conversations. They don't feel like steps anywhere. In this case, it feels almost, since it's not life or death, then it's more of a maintenance thing. How can we help them live as normal as we can make it functioning life? And while Bedford is in pain, it doesn't impact him cognitively at all. He can get around still right now. And when it comes to where he can't, then we probably will talk through surgical interventions. My biggest thing would be, if there is limited mobility, is there something we can do beyond just cut and surgery? But again, I don't know enough because he is so stiff and the whole Charlie horse aspect. It feels like, is there not like an oil out there like the Tin Man on Wizard of Oz that we can just pour on him to make him like we handle arthritis and we handle other things so different, but maybe it's similar to some degree. But this has definitely expanded my interest in medical. I wish I paid more attention in high school to certain things. But yeah.
One of the really cool things that has come out of this is you guys are actually working with a company to get a park built that is more inclusive for everybody, really. So tell me a little bit about that.
So after that first playground one went viral for the wrong reasons, I think this summer especially, I'm a big let's go to the park mom, but it's very hard to want to go to a park if it's not Bedford friendly. And what I mean by that is most playgrounds are mulch or rock, and he can't walk on that. And if I give him his walker, obviously that's not going to glide very well. I do feel that many parks are changing their ground. However, the ground is good, but then the equipment is not. And Bedford can get up on steps, not easily. And when he was younger, I would stand closer, but he can crawl up them. He can hold himself up. He's pretty strong-willed and determined to get up there. But he is limited, and he can't necessarily get to the locations without help or to play next to other kids. So I felt that his TikTok presence kind of took that route of like, there should be more options. Why aren't there more options? Why is it so expensive? Which I still don't understand. And you don't know or experience this until you have a kid that experiences this, because not a day prior to getting Bedford's diagnosis did I ever feel so passionate about playgrounds. Because obviously I can move and I can jump and I can run. So I had a guy message me saying that I should reach out to his mom because she works for an inclusive playground company. We get a lot of weird messages. I get asked to have sugar daddies on the daily, which I know that's just the internet. But so I glanced over it, ended up going back to it, pulled up the website that he sent me. It seemed very credible. Talked to my husband. Okay, I'm going to message them, see what happens. At minimum, they can help me figure out how to push this. The school that Bedford will be attending is Grace Christian Academy, and they don't have a playground that's Bedford friendly. And I told the principal last May, that's my goal. I'm going to get a Bedford friendly playground. So I emailed them. They set up a Zoom call with us, and they educated us on why they started this company or organization. And the founder actually had a boy who had special needs, and that's what pushed her to start it. And she created a playground for him. A lot of political people showed up to the ribbon cutting or the grand opening of it. And were so astounded by how cool it was that they were like, hey, can you build one in our town too? And I think that was so challenging for her to do, but it morphed into this entire organization. And now they've built over 100 plus across the United States, which is so cool. They're so inspiring. I've said this to her, but in light of It's a Wonderful Life, Natalie, the founder, really is our Clarence from It's a Wonderful Life, our guardian angel. But we talked with them, and when I got off the phone, it felt more that she was going to coach me in some exposure to grant writing or how she got from A to B in her process with it. I did not get off that call thinking we had a playground. I just thought this lady's going to educate me. So then a week later, I'm about ready to leave the house to go to a haircut appointment, and she emails me and says that they have some fabulous news, which obviously I don't know what that means. I'm thinking, oh, she knows who I should ask to help fund this. She is going to connect me with some grants. I don't know. So I talked with my husband, and he is able to hop on the video. I'm able to hop on the audio. And I'm standing outside my hair salon with tinfoil in my hair, and the whole cape thing on. And I hop on the call, and they already seem kind of weepy. And I'm like, what are they about to tell us? And again, we've only had the one conversation with them. But they said that they were so inspired by Bedford's story that they are creating this tangent of their company that will allow them to come alongside schools now, whereas before they were really focused on cities and community playgrounds. And they want Bedford's to be the first. So obviously I start crying. They have a gala every fall, which is in a few weeks. And they want to feature Bedford at that gala. So we will be going, like I said, at the beginning of October. But as they're telling us this, they said, and that's not even the coolest part, they said whatever we are able to raise for Bedford's playground, Little Tykes commercial is going to match every dollar. So obviously my husband and I are just like weeping on the phone call, and I'm like, you don't even know us. So just like the crazy cool God story of that with community and strangers really choosing to bless us. So yeah, now we're in the process of raising money for a playground for Bedford's future school, my other son's school, the school that I am heavily involved in still. And it's going to be such a cool thing, not just for the school and for other kids like Bedford, but for the community as well.
For the school, but this is a chance for kids who also go to Gray School and use a playground, and for kids who people maybe didn't even know that they had inclusive playgrounds like that. Right. That's so cool. So with that gala and everything like that, you guys have made t-shirts. Yeah.
So one of the posts that I made of Bedford with him at many of the parks that we go to, and this has come with mixed reviews too, mostly good. When Bedford wants to get from point A to point B, he'll often tell me to do it for him. And I have said, no, buddy, you can do it. So in the one video that went viral, I think it's at like 24 million views. It shows him getting up on the curb where the park benches are at so he can get a snack. And what people can't see is the snack that's on the bench. But the first time he struggled, and then the second time, obviously, he figured it out. So just, I don't know, so cool to see at that point a freshly 2-year-old figure out what repetition can do for you when you work hard. So the caption that I put, something inspiring, I couldn't quote it to you, but at the end, I challenged people who were viewing the video to go out and do something hard, and that Bedford will meet you at the curb. Not, again, realizing that people actually read my captions. Right. But my dad came over a few days later, and he was like, I think it would be really cool if you threw Meet You at the Curb, Bedford, which obviously I am wearing one of them right now. So we did. We threw it on some shirts, and I checked last night, and we're at 499 t-shirts sold. And part of that proceeds go toward his playground. And it's just been so cool because I have people from all over the country. I have people from out of this country asking to buy t-shirts, and just like the craziness that there are so many Bedford supporters all around the United States. I've had people wear them, and other people that they're hanging out with who aren't connected to us at all saying that they saw his stuff on social media, and just it's spreading and starting this movement of Build for Betty, but obviously the bigger picture of build for all kids that want to play so they can play side by side. which I haven't name dropped. The company we're working with is Unlimited Play, and that is their big push, is to allow kids to not just play at the playground, but to play side by side. So we visited a few of their playgrounds, and each entrance to the playground equipment is a ramp. So Bedford could actually get up to the tippy top. He might not be able to climb down all the crazy things or go down every slide, but he's able to exist right next to all the other kids and be with them and not have to sit on the sideline or be limited to things at ground level. So,
and do all the proceeds from those shirts go toward?
Not all. There are some production costs, but a good chunk of the proceeds, yes, will go toward his shirts, which isn't a large number, but I feel like the t-shirts have sort of raised awareness. Again, I'll see people that I wouldn't have thought would have bought a shirt, and they're wearing them around the community or at the school. And it's just so encouraging. Like, you cared enough to care about my kid. And I think that speaks to the power of community, of people stepping up and wanting to care for people, even if they don't know them. I think that that's a beautiful thing in community. So.
Absolutely. So if someone was like, I want to donate to this cause, where could they donate?
So you can buy a t-shirt. A lot of people are like, I have too many t-shirts. I also have too many t-shirts. There is a link specific that we have. I don't know if it's posted necessarily on any of our socials right now. Maybe I did. I can't remember. Where you can give basically to the gala, but to his specific need at the gala. We kind of have been waiting to see until after the gala how much money we've raised, how much more we need. I have, in my best ability, attempted to connect with local business people that I feel would be interested in coming alongside, whether that's with a crew or with supplies or with a monetary donation, which is outside my comfort zone because I don't want to ask people to do things.
Right.
But something that I've been reminded of is we should never allow the Lord to use people and the gifts that they have. Don't deprive people of an opportunity to give if that's what God has put on their heart. So whether that's making a meal for someone, I think it's easy to say like, no, you don't have to make me a meal. You don't have to give me gift cards. You don't have to fill in the blank. But we know what it's like to want to give to people, so to posture your heart in a way to be accepting. We've had a lot of people reach out and want to give, and it feels kind of uncomfortable. But I know that it's more than just for Bedford. It's for so many people. And I look forward to what this could morph into if this turns into a movement of, let's get more inclusive playgrounds. It doesn't hurt kids who aren't disabled, but it allows kids to be present. And if we can support people in any capacity, then I want to be a part of that.
Absolutely. I think that too, it's having an inclusive playground does not inhibit people who don't have disabilities to play in that playground. So why not?
Right. And
on top of that, there's a park in Valpo that is inclusive. It's Valparaiso. Their whole ground is that rubber mat kind of thing. And I love it. It's great. It's much softer on the feet. I don't get wood chips in my shoes. It's great.
Right.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Hollie, for coming on. I'm going to put on the screen right now, and you need to buy one. There's a link somewhere on the screen. Not a link, but you can copy and paste the link into a browser where you guys can get t-shirts. Even if you don't need a t-shirt, you probably need one more. So thank you so much for coming on, Hollie. I appreciate it a lot.
Thank you.
Yep. See you guys next time.